Hi, good evening. I'm going to explain something about the PCRs, the basic part. Say, if you want to create a PCR related to, say, payroll, you can go and give a rule ID which starts with Z. So there are payroll PCR attributes. Again, you have to tell that this PCR was related to time management or payroll. We have two different kind of PCR. If you give the attributes like time management, it won't work for payroll, and if you are giving for time management, if you are giving at payroll, it won't work for time management. So let us say first we'll see what is the difference between payroll PCR and the time PCR. Let us say this is the PCR we are writing for payroll. So for payroll PCR, if you remember, we have to specify in the attributes in P02 transaction what is the country you are going to work on. So the country grouping, I think everybody knows what is the country grouping. 40 is for India, 01 is for Germany, and 10 is for US. Like we have different countries. If you are working on some other country which was not defined in the SAP, we will configure with the international payroll. So 99 you have to specify, then only it will work for that particular driver, right? So if you go to the source text after creating the PCR, the structure of the PCR, the very first node will be the PCR grouping. If you remember the basic thing, that's what I'm going back to the configuration. Generally, what we will do, we'll go to SPRO. Then we will do all the basic configuration for the payroll in the configuration part, where you go for the basic salary. Let us say if you go for payroll, let us say if you go for international or any of the countries where you are working. So this will be the unique part. So I think we will go for personal management. So where the PCR grouping will be there. Right. If you go to the payroll data, then if you go for basic salary configure, the very first node will be the PCR grouping as well as CAP grouping. So CAP grouping is one of the pay element of your pay scale structure. CAP grouping, pay scale type, pay scale area, pay scale group and level will be the 5 elements to bifurcate his employees pay scale structure. So apart from that, you have a PCR grouping over here, which will be the part of the PCR. There are n number of standard PCRs written based on the PCR groupings. So let us say we have different PCR groupings given for the standard things. Let us say we have an example of let us say if you take M. If you see, for management staff, I have defined the PCR grouping as 3, and non-management staff I have defined as N. So we have a bifurcated rules we can write basing on the staff. If you go for documentation, that is F1 help, you can see 1 stands for this is the use. So we can't define our own things. These are the predefined SAP things. So 1 is for industrial workers, and then 2 for monthly wage earners, and 3 for the salaried employees. Likewise, SAP has defined uh, many of the things. So here, basing on this, you have to write the PCR. Let us say if you have a company have a requirement, your client have a requirement for industrial workers, there is a separate requirement, and for salaried employees there is a separate requirement. You can bifurcate like this, right? So then if you want to write, let us say for salaried employees, again if you go for a sub level, so you have a 4-digit character, that is nothing but your wage type when you are working on payroll. So you can work like this. If this is the basic salary or if this is something else, you can work on all this stuff. Let us say if it is the basic salary, then you can check any other things, like I will show you some examples which I can't explain now, but uh, let us say if you want to bifurcate something based on employee group, then you can tell employee group. If this is the particular employee subgroup, you can tell that say some amount multiplied by say some 12, whatever it is. It's not a actual thing. So you can write whatever the logic you want. If you tell addwt means add wage type, and if you are telling star, it will go to the same wage type. If you want to push this to a different wage type, you can give the wage type over here. So there are several things. The output process what we are going to do, but the logic will be like this. Let us say the same thing we are creating for a let us say if you are creating the PCR for time management, how we will do that. Let us say if you are creating a time PCR, say 9. I think we have already this one. So let us say we are creating a time PCR. So what we have to mention, the program class as T. You can open the options. We have only two options, time and payroll. Right? If you are creating the time PCR, you have to give star. It won't allow any of the other things. Let us say if you create even 99, it will show you error that only star is allowed if the program class is T. So we'll give star, and I will save this. Right? So if you go to the source text now, it will be the same, but the only difference here you can see is star is the same what I explained in the payroll. With the PCR grouping again and again, even if it is time management or payroll. But if you see the 4 stars, or if I give 0 100, it will be not the basic salary, it's a time type again. Let us say I have one time type called war time. So if you give the time types, so time types is completely different from the wage types, right? So here it will check the time types. In the payroll, it will check for the wage type. That is the only difference over here, and all the operations. So as speaking here, whenever you are writing the PCRs, we have operations, we have operators, we have operands, right? So all these things will be differed from time management and payroll. So in the time management, we have few of the things, like if you see here, I am taking amount field from the wage type. So in the time types, you have only HRS field. So you have to tell HRS is equal to some, say 10. Then you can add it to particular time type. So which will generate the quota, or which will produce the overtime, or which will produce the unauthorized absence, or which will do n number of things. related to the time evaluation. So this is the basic difference where we will get for the payroll and the time evaluation. So all the basics we are going to learn in our session. So I am saving this rule as of in the session, and we will continue further.